We chant some mantras of Katho Upanishad, Pratham Adhyaya, Ditya Bali. Mantra number 18. Ajayate mriyate va vipaschit, nayam kudaschit, na babhuva kaschit, pajo ditya saswatoyam purana, na hanyate hanyamane sarire. Mantra 19. Hanta chet manyate hantum, hataschet manyate hatam, kuboto na bijanitah, naegum hanti na hanyate. Mantra 20. मनोरणीयान् महतो मह्यान् आत्मस्य जन्तो निहितो गुहायां तमक्रतु पश्यति भीतशोक धातु प्रसादात् महिमानम् आत्मनः. Hari Om. We are continuing our spiritual studies on the greatest text that we have in this world, the Upanishads. Upanishads reveal the truth. Our very esteemed, revered rishis and munis have composed this through their revelation, not by handwriting, not by intellectual understanding, but by revelation from the higher up. So these mantras that you see in Katha Upanishad are the real Brahma Vidya. The Brahma Vidya started from mantra number 18 and 19 and 20 is continuing. So this mantra is very, very important mantra. All of us must make it by heart. Remember this mantra. Next time I will ask. So this mantra is Anoraniyan Mahato Mayan. I'll give you the word meanings first. Anu is Anu. Anu means the subtle. Atom. Anu is the atom. Atom is the subtlest. Anoraniyan. So Aniyan means subtler. So we are describing the Atma, which is subtler than the subtlest. Mahato Mayan. Mahat means great. So Mayan means greater. So this Atma is greater than the greatest. Atmasya janto nihito guhayam. So this is description of Mahatma. Atma means the self, the consciousness. That is, where is it residing? It is residing in janto, nihito guhayam. Janto means jantu. Jantu, you know, pasu, jantu, the beings or the animals. So it is residing in the guhayam. Nihito means it is placed or it is seated in the guha, in the heart, cave of the heart. We can say the cave of the heart. It is seated in the cave of the heart. Tamakratu. Tam akratu. Kratu means desires to do something. Akratu means desireless. So that desireless Atma, what is it? Tamakratu pasyati. He sees or observes. Okay, he realizes. Vita soka means devoid of any sorrow, without any sorrow. Vita soka, the way the soka, the sorrow has gone, is the past, without sorrow. Then dhatu prasada. Dhatu, here it sends the elements of the body, mind. So here it is the senses and the mind. Prasada. Prasada is the grace. With the grace of the inner equipments and the senses. Mahimanam Atmana. We observe, he observes the Mahimanam, the greatness, or the majesty of the self. A person observes the majesty of the self through the grace of his mind and senses. So the meaning of this mantra becomes the Atma that is subtler than the subtlest, the Atma which is greater than the greatest, and that Atma is lodged in the cave of the heart of the person or the being. And a man who is free from desires, with his mind and sense composed, he beholds the majesty and greatness of the Atma, the self. Thereby, he becomes free from sorrow. Okay. So here, various steps are there. First of all, there is a description of Atma, how the Atma is subtler than the subtlest, bigger than the biggest. Then there is a where the Atma is located, that is given there. Then it says the person who is how to get into Atma, how to realize that Atma, to become desireless. Only when you become desireless, then you will get the grace of the elements in you, and the result will be Bita Soka. Will be free from sorrow. That means sorrow means everything. All worldly sorrows will be removed. You will be free from the sansara itself. Okay. So various, it is one mantra only. So many concepts or steps are embedded in that. This is very often quoted mantra. The philosophers, the teachers, students, everybody remembers this mantra and quotes. So that's why I'm telling you, you also should remember, and we'll see next time what is the result, right? But don't, I mean, you come to the class, so don't say that I don't remember, I will not come to the class. Okay. So Atman is declared as the smaller than the smallest. So when we say Anu, Anu means the small. At the same time, it is described that it is also greater than the greatest. Mahatomayan. So which is the true? Actually, by describing it as the smallest and the greatest, the entire spectrum of the manifested world is taken as Atma. Understand? छोटा जितना छोटा है और जितना बड़ा है सब है आत्मा. मतलब full thing. The world में whatever is there, that is Atma. It covers the entire spectrum of the manifested universe. But one thing you remember, Shruti is our, how great is the Shruti itself, the Grantha that we study. Shruti declares the truth not only pervades the world or the universe, but it extends further than that, beyond this known universe. Because universe is only one. Okay? But there are many universes in this world. There are many millions of universes that will surround the world. So, Bhagavan Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita that the Jagat, the world, is made of only the manifested world. But I spread out into the total space beyond this manifested world, and beyond also the uh, the delusions, the Maya. Beyond Maya also I spread. And he says, this is only fraction of my nature you can see in this world. Bhagavad Gita, in he says, अथवा अथवा बहुनैतेन किम ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याम हमिदम कृष्णम एकं सत्सेन स्थिता jagat. That means he says, oh Arjuna, what is the need of your knowing the entire thing, everything extensively? You cannot know. It is so vast. Because Krishna says, I am sustaining the entire creation, right? In a way that only one of my foot is good enough for the entire Jagat. Only one part. My foot is only supporting the whole Jagat. And I am of so many. I extend into the entire cosmos. So how do you explain this? Atma being very subtler than the subtlest and greater than the greatest. How do you explain this? Because see, we know the definition of Atma. This is the Satchidananda, or knowledge, consciousness, bliss. Okay, that Atma pervades everywhere. That consciousness pervades everywhere. So wherever you go, the nook and corner of each item or object or the tiniest thing that is there in the world, so that consciousness is present. Atma is present. That is existing. Whatever is existing is Atma or consciousness. So that consciousness is existing and pervading throughout the universe. And that becomes the essence of existence. So that becomes the essence of the great divine influence that we have. Anywhere you go, there is a presence of consciousness, and that is the essence. You can't find any place what is non-existing. Can you say this thing is not existing? How can you say? If not, everything is existing only. Otherwise, you will not know. Then how do you say that it is lodged in the heart? It is lodged in the heart of all living beings. Janto. It's baffling. But simply speaking, residing in the heart means it indicates a place, a point where the individual person realizes the presence of Atma, or realizes the self. When you sit in meditation, you will worry what you will think. Atma is somewhere else and I am meditating to get it out. It will not happen. So through meditation, ultimately you realize that the presence of the self is in the heart. That's why it is in the heart. See, yesterday we were talking about this Vedantic meditation, right? How did it go? Yesterday's session?
Very good, sir.
Very good. Good.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you.
satisfied.
So, see, these are all interrelated topics. We are doing the study of Shastras, they are all related. Yesterday and today, maybe Bhagavad Gita, this is Upanishad, all, but the topic is the same, Brahma Vidya, same Atma, same Brahman. So everything will continue, So here, when you say that the Atma is seated in my heart, means when I sit in the meditation, that my mind becomes calm and quiet, my mind becomes serene, and then through the meditation, I rise above this worldly affairs. See, normally what is happening? There is a terminology used by Bhagavan Shankaracharya, avidya kama karma. That means First, you have the ignorance. You don't know that this world is this thing. The knowledge is not there. The real knowledge that I am the reality, I am the supreme. That knowledge is lacking. You don't know your own self. And avidya. Because of avidya, you have desires. You are thinking I am apurna, so to do the purnata, that means to you think I am limited, so to you find something, make some desires, and I'll have this, so I'll be fulfilled. Never happens because you are by your nature only you are purna. There is no limitation in it. So that avidya causes kama, means desire. Ignorance causes desire. And desires causes karma, action. Because of the desires, you are engaged in some action to fulfill your desires. So as long as this cycle continues, avidya, kama, karma phala, then janma, mrityu, it will continue. When that stops, that desire stops, then you say, I am free. I don't need anything more. I am limitless myself. That you enjoy the freedom, enjoy the presence of the consciousness, the God, that is Atma. So this is the way of realizing the perfection, the eternal bliss. When you remove all your desires. Remember one sloka in Katha Upanishad, Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Chinnate Tasya Karmani. Remember? Anyway, Vidyate in Hridaya Granthi, that means it pierces your Hridaya Granthi. And then all your karmani, all the actions are gone away. All your karma phala, all that was sanchita karma and agami karma, everything is destroyed. When you realize, then you are destroyed. Same way, here, once you realize, you become akratu, you become desireless, then you realize. He says, tam akratu. When one becomes desireless, then pasyati bita sokaha. He realizes that and attains bita sukha. He goes out of all sukhas. So tam akratu. Tam akratu means that desireless person. Okay. It may seem very odd things to talk about this. You come throughout the day, you watch something, and then you say, here, sit down and say, tam akratu. Akratu means desireless. I'll become desireless. How can you become desireless? So this is what we are trying to do here. See, slowly, you feed your mind so that your mind becomes accustomed to this series of thoughts. And it's a fact. This is the fact. That is an illusion. Whatever is happening outside is an illusion. Whatever is through the scriptures is a truth. That you must accept in the beginning itself. Okay? So, it is clear and it is natural freedom from the desires. Tamakratu. From the desires for what? For the external sense objects. Outside world, I want bus, I want a car, I want a dress or whatever you need. I want to buy this, I want to acquire this, I want to have a good relationship. All these are desires. Desires for yourself, for your family, or for your children or grandchildren, or whatever it may be. So once you become free from these desires, you enjoy the freedom. Freedom is as good as liberation. So when you get engaged in these desires, fulfilling the desires, you dissipate your energy. Your energy gets dissipated. So you are not able to have that power, the willpower to sustain. So this desire creates anxiety. It creates also fire, and it destroys the peace and the poise of the person, isn't it? Any desire comes, you have to achieve it. So you have to get, so when associated things come, how to buy, where to buy, what to buy. Then comes how to, what is the, where to get the funds for that, where the bank and bank balance, you check, or you take loan. All the thoughts will come, and that gives you a lot of anxiety. You become tense. Where to get the money from, how to service the loan, all that. So if you give up the desires, then you become calm and quiet, become serene, the mind becomes calm and quiet. The individual with desireless, he rests in the supreme. Nihita Guhayam means he is established in the heart. But that also says that you become calm and quiet. So this akratu means desireless, but it also means, it indicates the means of getting the things done and the goal of that thing done also. Both the actions, the way that you want to achieve the desires, and also what goal you are making, what type of desires you are making. All that put together, when you don't have, it's a problem. So the sadhaka, the seeker, once he becomes akratu, desireless, then he realizes the Atman and becomes free from sorrow. This is what is mentioned here. And elsewhere also we have said in Mundaka, Tarati Sokam Atmavit. These are the things you should remember. Tarati Sokam Atmavit. The person who has realized, he goes beyond sorrow. Everywhere, you will find so many places, the Upanishads, they keep repeating this. Once you realize, to go beyond sorrow. But as I told you the other day, the going sorrow doesn't mean that sorrow vanishes. What vanishes, what you go beyond is that you don't get attached to the sorrow. Let the sorrow be there, I am not attached. Nothing comes to me. Dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanam. Means, Dhatu prasadat means, I told you, there are two interpretations of this. One is by the Dvaitins, those people who are dualists. They say that prasada means grace. So Dhatu prasadat means grace of God, because of, by the means of grace of God. This is one interpretation. Dhatur means what? Dhatur comes from the word Dhatur, Dhrit, and to dharana karne ka. So to support. Dhatu comes from the word Dhatar, means to support. So that support is given by Bhagavan. He is the creator of the universe. The God principle. With his grace, everything happens. This is what Dhatu Prasadat is giving. But Shankaracharya gives a different interpretation to this Dhatu Prasadat. Remember, Shankaracharya is giving interpretation what in the 8th century. And before that also people knew about it. And what we are thinking, we are doing a great job by reading, studying this in this century. Okay. So Advaitins, they say that prasada is grace. But the grace of what? The dhatu is interpreted in a different way. Dhatu means also, like dhatu you say elements. Elements. So the Katho Prasadat means the outer world, the sense objects, and the inner world, the mind and the antakarana, all this put together is the dhatu. Okay? These are the elements for us. And see, mind is synchronizing all the uh, information that is coming through the sense organs from the outer objects. Sense organs going out to the outer world, and they're getting some stimuli from outside, and that all sense organs, whatever they're getting, the mind is processing it, is synchronizing it, right? So Sankaracharya justified this understanding of Dhatu Prasad means that mind and intellect and the input from the sense world should be purity, the purified intellect, single pointed mind, the tranquility in the atmosphere, the mind, that will create a grace for the blessed self communion with the Lord. Because you require that sattvic mind, sattvic intellect. And if you get some, tamasic inputs, then you cannot proceed on this journey. So that is what the Dhatu Prasadat means. Let us have a uh, look at the Bhashya. Okay, then we'll see. Don't worry. It will after Bhashya also. I'll give you a little more. So this mantra is very important. So we'll take some time. Okay. Now we'll see the uh, Bhashya. Okay. Here is the Bhashya on the screen.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'll read it and then explain to you. I mean, you need not go to the details of the Sanskrit words and all that. I'll tell you the meaning. You just see. The important thing is to see how Bhagavan Shankaracharya has interpreted this mantra and what examples are he has given. Ano means Suksmat. Aniyan. Asmat. Akade. Anutaraha. श्यामादक आदि सूक्ष्म पदार्थ अणु सूक्ष्मात् अणियात् अणियान् श्यामादक अनुतरः. So this Atma we are describing, it is subtler than the subtle. Is subtle than the Shyamadaka जो लिखा है ना, Shyamadaka is like a grain. Okay, it is smaller than the grain. Okay, smaller than the grain. And then he says, Mahato Mahat Parimanan Mayan Mahatara Prithibhyade. So when he is giving the Mahat Parimana, that means when you say Mahat, it is greater than the greatest. Mahatara Prithibhyade. So example he is giving is like the earth. There for Anu, he gave the example of the grain. Here for Mahat, he is giving the example of the Prithvi. Then he says, Anu Mahatva Yat Asti Loke Vastu Tat Tattena Iva Atmana Nityena Atmavat Sambhavati. Whatever exists in this world, you tell it Anu or Mahat, whatever is there, in this world, whatever is exists, whether subtle or great, can possibly be such a reality only on account of that Atmavat Sambhavati. Because of the Atma, because of the self, this is only able to exist. Because of Atma. Tadatmana vinirmuktam asat sampatyade. Tat Atmana vinirmuktam. If if anything is devoid of Atma, devoid of that consciousness, then what happens? When it is separated from the self, it becomes unreality, becomes asat. Okay? Then tasmad asubha atma ano raniyan mahato mayan sarva nama rupa vastu upadikatpat. You got that sentence? Tasmad asubha atma ano raniyan mahato mayan sarva nama rupa vastu upadikatvat. So it says this Anuraniyan Mautamayan, this self is self subtler than the subtlest and greater than the greatest. How? Because it is the Nama Rupa Vastu Upadikatvat. Because the Upadhi, because it's the Upadhi of Nama Rupa etc. is added to the Atma. Understand? This all pervading Atma, the consciousness, when the Nama Rupa is taken as Upadhi, it can become a small one, it can become a big one. It can become a human being or a pasu, it can become a mountain or a grain of sand. Whatever you say, because of Upadhi with Nama Rupa, that's how it becomes great or small. And then he says, Sa cha atmasya jantor brahmadi stava paryantasya pranijatasya guhayam hridaye nihita atmabhutah sthita iti artha. Once again I'm reading. Sa cha atmasya jantor brahmadi stava paryantasya pranijatasya guhayam hridaye nihita atmabhuta iti sthita iti artha. That means that Atma, by all means, it is the form and the form and the Nama Rupa. The self dwells in the Guhayam. Pranijatasya Guhayam Hridaya Nitam. Guha means Hridaya. So this Atma resides in the Hridaya of Pranijata, all the beings. Nihita means staying there. Atma. And who is staying there? And which are the pranis? He is saying Atma sa jantur brahmadi stava paryantasya. From starting from Brahma, the creator, to stava paryanta, ending with a clump of grass. To hold a grass also, there is the Atma. You have the Brahma also, there is the Atma. So, Hridaya Nihita Atma Bhuta Sthita iti artha. All the jantus, all the pranis, all the beings, in their heart, it is there. That Atma is there. Okay? Next paragraph you see, Tadatmanam. Tada tam atmanam darshana sravana manana vijnana lingam akratu kama dushta bahya visaya parata buddhi iti artha. This is something different. See, that Atma who is tamakruta, that means that Atma who is free from desires and who has risen above the external objects, seen or unseen. He perceives the self which is realized through the process of darsana, sravana, manana. That means he perceives through Sravana Manana Vijnanam. Vijnanam is the Nidhyasanam. This is being a lingam. Lingam means it's a symbolic. So, through the process of your sadhana of Sravana Manana Lingam, Nidhyasana, you are able to become Kamakratu desireless. Then you have also risen above the external objects. Drushta, Bahya Visaya. All rising above the external objects which are seen or unseen. Parata Buddhi iti artha is beyond that. This is what is the meaning of this. Yada cha evam tada mana adini. Yada cha evam tada mana adini karnani dhatava sarirasya dharanat prasidanti esam dhatunam aham asmi iti sakshat bijaniti tato vitasuka bhavati. So when you are attuned to the self, to the Supreme Being, the instruments such as the mind and the senses, they are called the dhatus. I told you, dhatu are these sense organs and the mind. They are called dhatus because why? They support the body, they become composed, they become attuned to the Supreme, and through their alertness, these organs, they see the glory of the self. That is, they directly experience the Supreme Being. Then one can say, I am the self. I am devoid of any growth or deterioration resulting from karma. Okay. Aham asmi iti sakshat bijanati. I exist. Aham asmi. I exist. Sakshat bijanati. Directly I realize. Tato vitasoko bhavati. The results that is observed of the sorrow is both beyond sorrow. So in this Shankaracharya's description or analysis, he is coming out a few points that he is giving the example of Anu to a grain, to Mahat to a Prithvi. Then he is telling that these are all it is because of the what you call Nama Rupa. Indriyas and Mana, yes. But because of the Nama Rupa, because of the Upadhi of the Nama Rupa, you are able to see this. Because Atma you cannot see, the consciousness you cannot see this. Because consciousness is covered with Upadhi of different names and forms. That's why you see something big, something small. And that Atma, that consciousness is residing not only outside here and there, everything from the Brahma, the creator, to a clump of grass. Janta Brahmadi Stamba Paryanta. And that statement is very useful, Brahmadi Stamba Paryanta. So from the Brahma to a clump of grass, everywhere the presence of the Lord is there. Prani Jatasya Guayam, Hridaye Atmabhuta Sthiti. Then he says, this is all possible because of your Sravana, Manana, Nidhyasana. Because of that, you are able to concentrate. Because of that, you are able to do the Atma Chintana. And you put all your senses and the mind into action. That becomes attuned. That becomes attuned to the Brahma, to the Supreme Being. That means your thought process becomes the thought of the Lord. Whatever the Bhagavan thinks, that becomes your thought. Of course, Bhagavan always thinks good of the universe, so you will always think good. Now, your negative thoughts will never come to mind. So, all this has been explained by Bhagavan Shankaracharya here. Okay, it takes 3 stages. One stage, he says, you become what is the mind and senses to be controlled, to be tuned to the supreme self. Then you become desireless, and as a result of desirelessness, you become Bhita Sukha. That means sorrowless also. The different stages here. Very interesting, see. So now we went through the small description and small, the Shankar Vasya. Let us take a broader look and also deeper look. Now, how does it affect us? How do we perceive this sloka? Thoda zyada, different look. See, this problem comes to our life every day. You have so many things coming up, you'll have some problem, and then you are so engrossed with that and you're fighting for it, then a bigger problem comes up. Then that chota wala piche pad jata hai, bigger one you facing. Just like you are big Russia-Ukraine war. Then now after the US-Israel-Iran war, तो कोई सोचता नहीं यूक्रेन वार होता है कि नहीं. So when the bigger problem comes, the smaller one is forgotten. And same way, when you think Bhagavan is very big, then you don't think it's small also. So Anu and Mahat, they go together. But in this sloka, in this mantra, Bhagavan Upanishad says that the Atma is the subtler than the subtlest, greater than the greatest. And he says that it is pervading everywhere, from Brahma to a stump of grass. That means Atma is everywhere, and it is also not having a Nama Rupa. Only Nama Rupa hone se pata lagega. Nahi to it's a essence only. So this is the essence of everything. Essence of everything. It is the Adhisthana, the base on which everything is built up. You put a Nama Rupa of whatever name and form you put, that will become that. Entire universe is Nama Rupa based on that Adhisthana of Atma or Brahman. And we have studied earlier, Brahman, that Brahman is Ekam, Nityam, Saram, Satyam. All this we have seen in Mundaka Upanishad. There is only one Brahman. Yes, one Brahman is there. But you put some Upadhi somewhere, so that becomes a cloud. You put another Upadhi somewhere, it becomes an ant. Nama Rupa, only wherever you put, it becomes. So Brahman is one only. That's why we say Advitiya. We are studying that Advitiya philosophy, not second, one only. So then, if you want to look for many, you'll find many also. So, what is the example? The right example is the ornaments, gold ornaments. Gold is one, but you find and you give you say it is a necklace. If that gold, you shape it in a particular shape, and you give a name to it, it's a necklace. Another gold or same gold you melt and give another shape of say ring, it becomes a ring, isn't it? Or it becomes any other ornament, So like gold remains one. That is the essence, and it takes different names and forms, and that becomes ornaments that everybody likes. Ornaments. Nobody likes the gold only. Everybody likes the ornament. Same way, nobody likes the Atma. Everybody likes the all these worldly affairs. Yes. So then Atma, even though it's taking, we are thinking that it's taking the form, names and forms, but actually it is not attached to it. It is separate. It is different from the Nama and Rupa. But that Atma is everywhere. In Chandogya Upanishad, there is another Upanishad putting, it says Atma Purustat, Atma Paschat. Tomorrow Atma is in your front, in your back, in your top, in your down, everywhere see the Atma is there. Okay. So how is it possible? How the Atma or the consciousness can pervade everywhere? And how the Atma can be something else today, big, today small, how it happens? How these things keep changing? The Upanishads gave one example, very nice example, and all of you are experiencing that example. Can you say what is that example? The example is the
Spider?
dream.
Dream, okay. Spider.
So I am myself is the same person. I am dreaming, right? So in the dream, I am the dreamer. Okay. And the dreamer, I am also dream object. I am also subject. I am also the events, whatever is happening. Who is the dreamer? What is the dream? Only it's a parikalpana of the mind. The mind is only thinking, nothing else. Nobody else is there. But you ride a horse or you ride a lion also. Huh? Lion will chase you. You will also cry there. You will also become very fearful. All that is happening. And you keep sweating also in that. Itna bhay ho jata hai. You can shout also you can wake up in the night also, shout also. But who is doing all this? I. But when I'm dreaming, I'm thinking that lion is separate, that dog is separate, or the aeroplane is separate, I am separate. I am the actor in that. I am the main actor. Every dream you will see, somebody else will know. I am doing this. I am the subject. I am the object. I am the event. But once you wake up, you say, vanished, finished. I am not the dream. I cannot be the dream. I am not the dream. This is all dream only. Dream means it's an illusion. I don't accept that I have become everything there. So, in another Upanishad, it says, Mayeva sakalam jatam. In me alone, everything is happening. Mayeva sakalam jatam, Mayi sarvam pratishthitam. In me alone, everything is happening. Everything starts from me. Everything is produced from me. And in me, sab parikalpana hota hai. And everything also perishes into me. Just like the dream. And this mantra number 20, is a beautiful mantra. It's a capsule mantra. What it means? That means it has all aspects of our studies of the self, the Atma. You will come to know what is the Atma Swarupa, what is the nature of Atma, how to what is the sadhana you do to, and how do you know the nature? You got to get Atma Jnana. So Atma Jnana is there. Then how do you have the Atma Jnana? You require sadhana. So what is the Atma Jnana sadhana? So if you do the sadhana, what the result? So you will get the result of the Atma Jnana. All these four aspects are clubbed into this one mantra. Okay. So Atma alone appears as the smallest and appears as the biggest. Atma alone is the micro universe as the macro universe. Okay. Micro and macro, see, if you say Atma is very small, you take a magnifying glass or a microscope and look for Atma, but you can't find it. Then you say, no, Atma is very big, total universe is there. Then you will take a telescope, and the big telescope you will see. Then also you will not find it. Because everywhere it is there, the essence only, Nama Rupa is not there. So this aspect of Atma and its nature and its knowledge, how to know Atma, how to do the sadhana to know the Atma, and with the knowledge, what will be the result of that, all that we'll discuss next time. Okay, in the next class. Once again, we'll chant this mantra. I will look at the Upanishad, we'll chant the mantra again. Anoraniyan mahato mayan. Atmasya janto nita guyayam. Tamakratu pasyati bita soka. So I'll take leave. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om.